This video is sponsored by the Design Mechanism, the makers of Mythras. Mythras is a registered trademark of the Design Mechanism Inc., used with permission. All rights reserved. That one. That's the button. I just looked across and Longshanks is all I Oh, he's back.
I'm trying to watch the fireworks. I think there's fireworks going on. At least I hope they're fireworks. If they're not fireworks, I might be in trouble.
No, you're not going to have anything down where you live. It's not
There's just been 3 big bangs.
It's a Welsh revolution. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Your sex tape.
It's the Welsh trying to invade. Cut Severn Bridge. Cut the Severn Bridge down. That's. Did you know this is in? There's a bridge that goes over the River Severn, and you go from England into Wales over it, and it's really interesting because if you go from England to Wales, you have to pay to cross it, but if you go from Wales to England, you don't. What's that about?
It's a Welsh bridge. I think it's for it.
Yaki da. No, I shouldn't be.
Coming in, you pay.
Just alienated half of my
Yeah.
and the sheep.
Yeah. Do you want to know my sister? She has a sheep farm, which is really funny. But of course, she won't mind me showing this on stream. But she had they're obviously they bought a ram to sort of like go and do their business, if that makes sense, and they paint red on the ram so they can see which sheep he's been busy with. But I think this one got a little bit more than what they were bargaining for. It's covered in...
It's when you find a good one.
Yeah.
A lot of foreplay of that one.
Yeah, I just thought that was so funny. Anyway, let me just click my phone back in because it needs power. Hello everyone. Hello and welcome to this week's Mythras adventure, a fantasy role-playing game. Based on the D100 system, the percentile system. No classes, well, there are races, but no classes, no levels. You just improve your skills, take whatever you can grab, and then put them all together in a frantic fantasy game where combat is lethal, magic is ultra powerful. Yeah, and we have lots of fun. And we left the party last week in the midst of a combat. Well, no, actually, just coming up to round 2 of a combat. And we stopped it there because combat can last for some time in Mythras, and it was getting late. So we're looking forward to getting back into it today, and hopefully getting to the end and see how many characters actually survive to the end. But before I sort of like give a brief overview what's happening and also do a bit of housekeeping, etc., I'm going to allow the players an opportunity to say who they are and who they will be playing this evening. And as always, we start with Mr. Pickles.
I am Mr. Pickles, and I play Bartleby Fumus. Who
What?
is our team's-
Sorry, did you have to think there?
I paused because I'm always looking to see if it's actually picking up, because this microphone's a little bit fussy, and sometimes I'll be talking.
Oh
and
god, yeah.
It skips out on the first few words, so I give it a paranoid eye for that reason.
A paranoid eye.
Play Bartleby Fumus, our team's theist. He serves the goddess Amriel. She is the light moon goddess, and through her, he's able to work various miracles such as healing, purging disease and poison, protecting people, and all over helping people survive through her light. Bartleby is also our team's historian and knows a lot about monsters in the local area, because in his youth he wanted very much to be a bard, but bandits broke his hands, and nobody makes fun of him about that anymore. His gnarled hands and all. But the Church of Amriel took him in, saved him, so now he tries to repay society by helping those who are impoverished or less likely to receive help, rather than pursue his goal of being a bard. He's been with this group for quite a while now, and Hengist, Hazra have all saved him. I'm not sure if Captain Kangaroo's character has saved him yet. But
his name's Cyrus, by the way.
Well, yeah. Cyrus.
Get it right.
I don't think he saved him quite yet, but on that note, I'm going to pass it on to Captain Kangaroo to introduce his character.
Everybody, I'm Captain Kangaroo. I am playing Cyrus Alias tonight. Cyrus is the sorcerer of the group. He is the narcissist of the group as well. Kind of working out a few different spells because still trying to figure out how Mythras works as a whole, and I might be going a little bit too confident to some spells without actually realizing if they're worth it or not. But tried out something last game to see if I could save the group, because the group seemed to be in a weird spot. So we'll see how that turns out. If I die embarrassingly, I can chalk it out to, I didn't know. But if I'm super victorious and like, whoa,
you're hedging your bets. You're hedging your bets.
I'm just I'm trying to get the audience on my side. If the audience in chat say, don't do it, it will, like, okay.
It's all right, nobody's watching.
Oh, damn it. All right. We're still working on it, but we'll see how today's adventure will go. See if all of us die or none of us will die. Besides that, Kat, I will pass the mic to Longshanks.
Thank you very much. Hi guys, I'm Longshanks CPG, and tonight, as always, I'm playing the noble, the brave warrior Hengist, who's getting a little bit famous, but not very much famous. Like, I think it's like 1 in 200 people or something, whatever it is, know him. No, he's got 27, so that's what? Yeah, 1 in 200 probably.
Well,
1 in 2,000.
27%.
27%.
Well, yeah, so like 20%, 27% of the population. So yeah, both of them.
So almost no one.
Yeah,
basically. He's a warrior chasing noble deeds to become famous. Basically, he works, or he's part of, not works. He's part of the noble house Galot, which is one of the 3 major houses in Lindo, and they sort of like more focus on helping the poor in Lindo. They also look after the industry, so blacksmiths, weaponsmiths, inventors, and that sort of thing. And they also supply a lot of the arms and armor pro bono for the town guard, for Count Bastian, who's the ruler of Lindo. So he's with them because that's where his ideologies lie at the moment, in protecting the weak and helpless. So he kind of links up with Bartleby quite often in those sorts of things. Most recently, he's helped Bartleby and the party rid Lower Lindo and the slums of Lindo from horrible water goblin fish things that were eating people.
Sea devils.
Mutating them. Sea devils, that's what it is, yeah. Or aka weird goblin fish people. In Hengist's book, because everything, according to Bartleby, is a goblin of some sort. They're either river goblins, forest goblins, mountain goblins, furry goblins, like the thing we're fighting at the moment. And that sort of thing. And I'll stop rambling and pass it on to Medivac to introduce his character.
Why, thank you, sir. Hello, everybody. I am Medivac, and I play Hadra Khan. And I am the saviour of young girls, crispy or not.
Barbecue girl.
Yes. BBQ. Who? Hazra is basically a tracker, an outdoorsy person. He belongs in the wilderness. He loves it out here. Cannot stand cities, but he does put up with them because he wants to be with his friends. And he does have a supplier of his meats that he tracks and finds, which is Basil, the hairy hobgoblin. He tends to favour a short spear, which he's very good at throwing. He also likes his scimitar when things get downright dirty or something runs off with his spear. So, yes, you see him also...
No, you chuck it.
Yeah, it sticks in something
and they run off. It's not as if it's not as if they come behind you, pick it up and run with it.
Give me back my garden tools. He's at the moment he's a bit worse for wear, but thankfully Bartleby has healed him. You will still notice a few telltale scars or how can I say it, scorched skin around his face and his left leg, if memory serves me, where the fire ripped through him when he charged through a burning wagon. His left arm, which you can't see at the moment because it's still covered in armour, in quilted armour, is black. So he's trying to obviously get the rest of his body to match at the moment. So, and with that, I shall pass it on to In-Wills.
Thank you. Do you know, I was just looking up because there's no bard class in actual Mythras, but it's interesting that there is a musicianship skill and you can play a variety of instruments, and I think I would use it to augment another skill, you know. So if somebody was doing oratory and there was the bard was playing, then you would get it augmented, or maybe even a rousing song to sort of like boost combat. But the interesting thing is, it says on a critical success, the magician creates music of stunning quality, elegance, and or beauty. Any subsequent skills, such as influence, etc., become one grade easier. So that would be fantastic. You know, if you got your drums out, you know, I don't think you can use. Can you use drums? No, you can only.
Mine's for the lute.
Yeah, so you're plucked. Are you plucked? No, you're strummed strings, aren't you?
I presume.
Yeah, because it comes in categories, and strummed strings are lute, guitar, and banjo. I quite like keyboards, piano, organ. I'll just bring out this organ. Or I have visions, you know, like
play my organ.
Yeah, or you know, like the old-fashioned cinemas. Go on.
A pocket organ to match the pocket trebuchet.
What were those things called? It had the 60s, sorry, 70s or 80s, with a xylophone. We had the little pen, electric.
Oh yes, I remember. Sorry. Yeah, I thought it might be like coming up out the floor, you know, like in the old-fashioned cinemas where people. Okay, so yeah, let's leave musicianship. There's also seamanship, and we'll come to that. That's a completely different stream for later on. Okay, then. So
that's when I'm hanging out with the barmaids, right?
Yes, yes. Well, somebody is here now, so please behave. So the party originally at the start of last adventure were transporting or protecting two merchants and their wagon back to their camp. And that was what they thought was happening, but unbeknown to them, they were actually guards from the Merchant Guild, and they were actually transporting Zach back to Airwood. And last week, the party found a caravan, a wagon train that had been severely battered. There was bits of broken bodies and ripped bodies all over the place. And to scare off a bunch of hyenas, Cyrus set fire to a wagon. The hyenas ran, and there was a cry or a scream from inside of a young girl. this is when Hazra burst into action, and he has a passion called Selfless Protector. Is that right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
It is selfless.
Protect.
Yes.
Yeah, and he sort of like did that and ran through the fire, taking damage as he came, to pick up the young girl who was called Molly and to get her outside. Bartleby did his best to try to bring her back to life, but sadly Molly died, and there was a mournful burial ceremony when Bartleby laid her to rest. However, it came out shortly after that Molly is actually Zach's sister, and Zach came out of the wagon just to find that his sister and family had all been killed by something. Okay, then later that night, when people were around the fire, they knew it was some kind of beast that had ripped things to bits, people to bits, scarred or raked down their back with huge claws. And so it was really some kind of hideous beast. And as the party settled down for the night round the campfire that you can see in the middle of the screen there, they saw some yellow eyes out in the distance. And as they looked, or some people saw them, the eyes started to come towards the party and to increase in height. And the wolf, or the werewolf as we're calling it, then burst into combat. There was a quick kerfuffle as people dived for cover or tried to stab it, and they suddenly found out that this werewolf was somewhat immune to their weapons. Cyrus took matters into his own hands and did a new spell that he has. Well, it's not a new spell, he's had it for a while, but he's not used it, to switch bodies between himself and the werewolf. So actually on the map at the moment, Cyrus, this guy who looks like he's on fire down here, is actually the werewolf's soul or spirit is in him, and Cyrus is in the werewolf. At that point, the werewolf who was here jumped over here, and with everybody sort of like turning round as they came, and we were about to start round 2 and in combat, and we stopped it there. Okay, so I went away and had a bit of a think about things, and I've posted this in the Discord so people can see it. So obviously the werewolf seems to be immune to damage from the party's weapons, and last week I didn't really know how I was going to deal with the specials, but I've made a decision with them now. So obviously specials that cause damage, such as bleed, impale, max damage, will have no effect on the werewolf because it's immune from mundane weapons. However, specials such as trip or grip, or even disarm if it has a weapon, will still have an effect. Specials such as press advantage, compel surrender, and things like that, which almost like rely, I think, on being worried that you're going to get hit and being damaged, might work for the first pass. But after that, the person, if they're immune, will suddenly think, hang on a minute, I don't need to shy away from this weapon. I can just go for it. So there's going to be a bit of individual calls on that. The second thing was that I read the skills actually do transfer. And so the werewolf, when Cyrus goes into the werewolf, he takes all his skills with him. And all the skills of the werewolf goes into Cyrus. So basically with a switch body, if I get this right, your skills and your mental attributes go with you, but the body remains the same. So how I'm viewing it is that anything that's sort of like attached to the mental prowess or the skills, etc., does go, but anything that is related to the body, the physical manifestation of the body, remains. There are some exceptions, however. So Cyrus can still got his spell casting abilities, but I'm not having spell casting worms. Okay, we're not going there. Cyrus is not going to switch body into a worm, and this worm goes and start to cast spells. So there are some, and this is for anybody who actually casts spells, because I don't know whether or not you're aware of this. On page 119 of the rule book, there's actually some requirements for casting spells. Okay, and it states that whether the passionate entreaties of the theist calling upon his god, or the esoteric hand movements of a mystic, all magical disciplines are assumed to have ritual words and gestures to aid in focusing of concentration required for a proper incantation. By default, the following freedoms are required: clear thought, unclouded by detrimental magic, narcotics, or emotional stress. The ability to gesture or symbolize with at least one hand. So obviously, if Cyrus switched bodies into a hawk, that's going to be an issue, or the worm. The ability to make appropriate vocal sounds to invoke the formulae or requests. The emphasis is on appropriate vocal sounds, and the ability to accurately perceive or sense a potential target. Okay, then, and then it's quite specific, and it says, where one or more of these are denied to the magician, each missing element increases the difficult grade of the appropriate magic skill. A hedge wizard who is bound and blindfold could attempt to cast folk magic, but it would be at formidable grade. So you can still do it, but it's just a lot harder. So, and I quite like that in the sense that, on that wonderful critical role that actually is at formidable or Herculean actually comes off. Okay, so that's where we're at. However, there's more, because now Cyrus and the werewolf have swapped bodies. Their physical stats will actually increase and decrease. So how we're going to do this, Cyrus, keep an eye, just make a note of your initiative bonus at the moment, because it might change in a minute. Okay, right. So what we've got, sorry about, I know you're all desperate to get into the spell, but we need to get this bit done first so that we can ensure that everybody has the right spells. Now, if you open up any of your characteristics, Cyrus, there's a place for training and age. So what we're going to do is that we're going to either put a plus something in there or a negative something in there, and then that will automatically change our abilities. So the first thing is, what is your strength as your normal strength? 10. So mine's 19. So you're going to have plus 9 into one of those boxes, and I'm going to have minus 9 into one of those boxes. Okay. So now my strength has gone down. What is your constitution?
9.
9. So mine's 14. So you'll get plus 5. Well, I'll get minus 5 to that. And your size?
Size is 8.
Okay, so mine's 20. So you're going to have plus 12, and I'm going to have minus 12. Am I doing this right, by the way? It sounds right mathematically to me, because now I'm at 8.
Yeah.
And
Makes sense.
then dexterity, what's your dexterity at the moment?
13.
13, so mine's 16. So you're going to have plus 3, and I'm going to have minus 3. Right, so first things first, have a look at your initiative bonus now. Has your initiative bonus increased or decreased?
Trying to figure out where it's at.
It's in your attributes, right opposite your dex. It says initiative, and then there's a number on it.
Okay, 11, I think.
Okay, so has that gone up or down?
Hold on a second. Let me just look at the Dex really quick. I don't think it changed.
Okay then. So mine.
Okay, well, okay, what that?
It must have gone up.
It was 10 initially. Now it's 11.
11. So yours has gone up by 1. So what I'm doing now is increasing your initiative. Hengist, what's your bonus? What's your initiative bonus, Hengist? Are you muted?
Feeling a little bit
7.
7. So that'll come up before you, and I take a negative roll on that, and mine goes down to 15, which means it moves. Now, the thing to remember just here is that you are still Cyrus in the events, in the turn list. Does that make sense, Cyrus?
Yeah.
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 Okay, so that's it. Now, everything else should have automatically changed. So any combat skills will automatically change. Any evade or dodge will automatically change because your attributes have increased. Your strength, constitution, size, and dex has increased. So that all be. Well, for example, you might now have a damage modifier. A damage mod, do you?
Yeah, the damage mod now should be 1d6.
Yeah, so now mine's minus 1d2. Well, I before had plus 1d6 on everything.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. Okay then. So is everybody clear about everything? Does anybody want to ask any questions before we get going?
No, I got it.
No, fantastic. Let's...
Oh, okay. Maybe there's one question.
Go for it.
Question, and it's purely on the theory. Is if said in the book, if said in the skill, if my physical body dies,
Yeah.
my conscious dies. I assume that means the same for it.
Yes. Well, where does it say? Let me just check it. Do you know, I was thinking about this over the week, and I was just thinking, you know, if a sorcerer kept switching bodies with things, I'm wondering whether any of its sort of like characteristics come back with them. So you know, all of a sudden, if you change form with like a wolf, whether or not you end up sort of like sniffing the air every now and again, or if a chimp, you end up sort of like you suddenly find Hengist, you turn around to find Cyrus sort of like grooming your hair or something like that, which I thought was it. Unwilling, so that's all right because we did resistance. Let me just see where it says you will die. I don't wish to make. I just need to mark Phantom Sense. It's proving.
Switch buttons.
I'm just. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both the sort of, we've done that. Since the spell can only be used on creatures as well as Sabian, that's all right. If the sorcerer's body is killed whilst switched with a victim, his consciousness will also die when the spell ends. Okay, using this spell, a sorcerer could briefly escape the death of their own body in order to wreak revenge. Casting Switch Body is an enchantment, can technically allow the sorcerer permanently to inhabit the body of a target, assume its status or influence if they carry it. So for the time being, until we have to consider it differently, I'm quite happy to say, you know, if it happens to you, then that's absolutely fine. So basically, we have to remember that on the turn order, it's Cyrus is the real one, but on the actual game, this is actually Cyrus now. Okay then, so we're going into round 2. Just to remember, your luck points will be refreshed, okay? But your magic points currently are not. And like I said in the Discord, if anything comes to grips, then I'll make a decision as quickly as possible so the game can continue. And we're coming into round 2, turn 1, and we're coming straight to the selfless protector himself, Mr. Hazra Khan. What would you like to do, Mr. Hazra Khan?
Well, I impaled last turn into the werewolf.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I would like to draw my scimitar because I'd like to leave my spear in.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, then.
I'm going to take this werewolf down. This big, huge wolf thing's going to go down. So I'm going to take this turn. I'm going to take a stance. I'm going to draw my scimitar out and be ready to go next turn.
Whereabouts did your spear go in last time? Can you remember?
Yes, he says as he rolls up the chat, it was in his 4 by the looks of it.
Oh, it's one of its legs.
Yes.
So,
a leg. Right leg, is it?
Yeah. So
Left leg, sorry.
left leg. So when you've been impaled, your skills actually increase by one level of difficulty.
It's one harder.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to rule that is still the case because it's not the pain that causes it to be one harder. Yeah. Okay. Then, so Cyrus, you need to remember that your skill rolls are 1 level higher. Okay. Then, so 19, you draw your scimitar, and Bartleby, we're coming straight to you.
I would like to use my free action to shout something.
3 words.
Only 3 words?
Yes.
I want to mention something because
Don't forget the fish.
I remember Cyrus giving out a shout, but
no, not that. I want to mention. Remember this. We found out that the skills changed and everything. So my body, my wolf body, no longer has the physical immunity. And so his damage was never put onto against my HP.
Say again, the werewolf still has the immunity.
Well, you said that there's a possibility that the werewolf, the immunity went with the consciousness.
Yeah, and that's what I was just saying at the beginning, and what I said in the Discord as well.
And I agree.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is when we did it last time, Hazra, when he stabbed me, we assumed that I still had the immunity, but then we found out later that skills changed. So I was never recorded any damage to me.
The werewolf.
I don't think you take damage from my attacks, but I think the effect of impale still happens because you've got this thing sticking in you.
Correct.
And your skin's healed around it.
Yeah.
And your big floppy thing going on.
Yes, let's not mention floppy things. That's right. Okay, Bartleby, you want to say something?
I guess pointed at Hangus. My 3 words. I was hoping for 5, but three's fine. Just shout "Power of Amriel" as I put my hand on him, hopefully to cast a little bit of some moonlight on his sword. Hopefully.
Nice. Yeah. So roll your oh, sorry, no, it's just a folk magic. That's not a good start.
He's got 400 luck points. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I am actually going to use a luck point because I want this to go through. I want the power of Amriel to be taken seriously. So that would be a 59.
Oh, you're just swapping it over. Yeah, so that would be a 59. So, Hengus, your sword now does 1 grade higher. So what does it normally do when you're wielding it 1.5?
So when I'm using it 1.5, it normally does 1d10. So it now does 2d6.
Do 2d6. It certainly does. Let me just put
Plus
on
2 damage from a damage modifier.
Nice. Ouch. That's going to hurt. Do you know?
Wow.
I always use that
now.
icon, which is meant to be 3 swords, but every time I see it on a token, it looks like a tulip. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
I'm fine with that.
So it is.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with a tulip.
A tulip. Okay, then. So that's 19. So that spell come up. So you now have player. Okay, Cyrus, this is you in werewolf.
All right, Cyrus is going to attempt to grapple his old body.
Cool.
Yeah. So would that be a brawn attack?
It's an unarmed attack roll to grapple.
Okay. Let's do this together.
So your actual everything will have been increased naturally according to your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it should be a hard roll, right? Because
It's a hard roll, and so it's an opposed roll of the attacker's unarmed combat versus the combat skill used by the defender. If the attacker wins, then he has established a grapple, but if the defender wins, the grapple fails. As with evade, if one of the two opponents does more than one level of success, then they may have specials. So you need to roll your I need to see how many action points I have now. Oh, that's all right.
I didn't even look at that actually.
Yeah. So yeah, go for it. So you need to roll your unarmed combat, and I do. Are you sticking with it, or
No, I'll use my luck because luck's replenish, and I'm going to reverse it.
okay then? So
Oh wait, no, because it's a hard roll, so no, I'm going to have to re-roll it.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's a hard roll. You got it. Come on, buddy. There we go.
Oh, that's better. That's 40. But so I'm going to say that I'm going to use my grapple, my unarmed combat. So you reach out and you grapple. You grab hold of your body in a lock or a hold. So just to let you know, a grapple limb is rendered in that I can't use it. So oh, that reminds me. Yeah, you now need to roll your hit location, and then you'll have a special, won't you? Because you got one grade harder than mine. So you'll have your you need a hit location to see what you manage to grapple.
Okay.
And I need a special as well. So tell me, it should be special hit location. So 5 would be on my. Yeah, you sort of like grab one of my legs. Yeah, what special do you want to do?
Trying to think of a special that would benefit of unarmed. The purpose I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to grapple him and try to immobilize him.
So there's a number of things that you could do. You could use trip at this point, which I think would I can't find. Oh, there they are. Which would be.
Page,
Say again,
Yeah.
sorry.
no, that was the last page is true. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that would really work nicely. And,
Yeah, I think I'll probably go for that.
Okay, then
I just want to immobilize him, and then maybe on next turn I'll use a free action.
So you balance or overthrow the opponent to the ground. Target must make an opposed brawn or evade or acrobatics roll or fall prone. Okay then, so here's my my brawn roll. I don't have acrobatics. If I did, then I would do. Oh! The werewolf gets a fumble. Sorry, Cyrus gets a fumble. So yeah, you sort of like come down and you sort of like grab one of these of Cyrus's legs, and you sort of like yank it and sort of like grip it with all your strength. And the three of you see Cyrus fall down onto the floor with this werewolf clutching his leg. You need to do some damage to me for me as well. It's just you should have a unarmed combat. Let me just see. In addition to following this, no, it's all right. It's your following turn that you actually do some damage to him. In addition, on his following turns, the grappler, this is you, may make unarmed combat attacks to inflict equal to his damage modifier on the body part by crushing, twisting, or strangling it. So you can actually grab your own leg if you want to go. Maybe a hand below the knee and a hand above the knee and twist it opposite directions. That
Like
No,
a
I don't
really
want to do it
painful
Indian
cow
burn.
burn.
yeah.
That's an Indian burn.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, that's quite appropriate for Cyrus. Okay then. So this is so that's 17. Hengist, you are up.
So
So what you, just to remind you, what you see is you can now see Hazra's
wolf.
spear sticking
Yeah.
out of his own leg. This werewolf has grabbed Cyrus's leg and forced him to the ground in some kind of weird wrestling activity. Bartleby has blessed you, and your weapon is
Is
glowing.
glowing
Yeah.
with the light of Amriel. So with the light of Amriel glowing around Hengist's longsword, he's going to take an almighty swing at the werewolf. And he'll use a free action at the same time and just shout, "Cyrus, no!"
Oh, yeah, go for it. Oh, ouch!
Lovely.
So I'm going to rule. Well, it's up to werewolf. It's Cyrus. It's up to you. You need to make a decision whether or not you wish to parry the attack, or whether or not you would. If I was playing the werewolf, I would probably say that I would not be aware of the attack coming.
I was going to say, could he parry?
I would
because
not
he's
be
dropping
a
on the
werewolf
floor?
of the
Yeah.
attack. No,
Da, 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 da.
Not with the dad jokes again.
no, I'm not aware of it because I'm focusing on Cyrus's
Yeah,
wild body.
cool.
So I'm not looking behind me, even
Yeah.
though my senses are probably attuned to my surroundings.
So,
with my new ears.
Hengist, remember you got a critical against a nothing, so you have 2 specials, one of which can be a critical of the critical, but only one of them. And then, so you'll need to know your specials and then your hit location and your damage.
Which arm can Hengist see from where he is? Which arm the werewolf is using to grab Cyrus?
Probably you're aware that he's grabbing onto things, but if you wish to use hit location, choose location as one of them, then I'm quite happy to say that is, he's probably got the leg in both arms, to be honest with you.
So Hengist wants to do choose location as his first special, because he's swinging sort of like at the upper arm / shoulder sort of area of one of the arms.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't. No, yeah. So then he'll use max damage on that as well. So
hang on. So before it doesn't matter which arm you're going for. So which one do you want to hit, the left or the right?
Probably the one that's in front of him. So that would be the left arm.
Okay, left arm. And Cyrus, just to let you know, you have 2 points of armor in each of your locations. Your hit points should have automatically changed in your location because we've changed the base stats. So that's what you should have. Okay then, so max...
Oh, you said 2 points of armor?
2 points of armor in each of your locations, yeah.
All right.
So that's...
So max damage.
What did you say? Right arm?
No, it's the left arm because that's the one that
that
is behind the wolf, so that'd be the closest one to him.
That makes sense. Yeah. So this is your left arm that you're going to take 12.
Does it include the damage modifier or not?
It does your weapon damage then plus your normal weapon, your damage modifier. That's still rolled.
Okay, so I need to roll.
No,
damage
actually,
modifier.
it's max damage, isn't it? It'll be max damage across it. We'll check that as we're talking.
I will get ready to roll a 1d2 then.
I can't see it.
It's max damage of the base weapon, isn't it? And then plus damage modifier if you've got anything to add on to it.
Yeah, but we don't know whether or not that the damage modifier.
No, I don't think damage modifier is maxed, is it? 'Cause that's
Oh, got you. Okay, that's fine
yeah.
then. So roll a one.
That's my personal. I don't know the rules because I just like playing.
So you do your maximum damage. The special effect can be stacked. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Ooh.
For example, a hatchet would now do it instead of 6, whereas a great club 2d6 would instead. The special effect max damage does not affect the damage modifier, which must be rolled normally. Yeah.
Okay, so is it /R or is it R/?
/R space 1d2.
So it is max damage completely. So that's 14 damage.
14 damage.
To the left arm.
To the left arm. Well, luckily for me,
So that would be 12.
15.
that's only over double what my HP is.
So it's what?
It's only double what my HP is in that arm. No, so my
Arms
HP on
off, man.
it's whacked off.
It's a flesh wound.
Okay, so what?
This blood spur, it's a Quentin Tarantino film right now.
So how many hit points were on that location?
6, and then 2 armor, so 8 altogether.
So that would be take it down. So the 2 will take it down to 12 points of damage, and then that will actually whack it onto a major wound, no matter what. Okay, then. So so all of a sudden, Hengist, you swipe at this arm, and actually, what happens when your arm is ripped off like that in such a fashion that you actually Cyrus, can you roll for me, please, your endurance? That's what I need. And remember,
endurance at a hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do not make it.
You do not make it. So what happens because actually it doesn't. Even if it was a standard, you have to beat Hengist's crit roll. So I see what you mean there, whether or not it would actually be a hard, but even as a standard, although you've succeeded, it's against Hengist's crit roll. So you would have to have got a crit to actually, which means, now just out of interest, if this has been the head, chest or abdomen, it would now be dead. And that would be it. So if you get a major wound and fail your endurance roll on your chest, abdomen or head, you instantly die. And there's no D&D death rolls, or that's not called a death roll. That's something that a crocodile does, isn't it?
Yeah. Nom, death roll.
That's it. Yeah, death.
Yes.
I think no, it's what's Star Fox? Barrel roll. Sorry.
Yeah, but so Hengist sort of like whacks it, and the shock actually puts you unconscious. And I think at that point, that will be when the re-switch occurs. And in the sense that there's a huge amount of damage being whacked into you at the present moment in time. Just make for me do a barrel roll. Yeah, just make a willpower check for me, please. Okay. As Cyrus, yeah. Yeah, so there is. You literally, Hengist, I'm going to allow you to make the decision here. So the options you have on this limb is it's either severed, transfixed, shattered, or ripped off. Now, obviously, you can't rip it off, but I see no worries about severing it.
I was going to say he's got a two-handed sword.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be that one. It's probably going to be severed. It's the glow of Amriel on the blade, so the whole blade is shimmering. Is it?
And
Bartleby, does Amriel's light? What color does Amriel's light appear with? I can never remember.
I always assumed it was sort of a light bluish.
The whole blade is glowing with like a light
full
blue.
Moon. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole blade is going with a light blue, and so like that extra energy has helped Hengist slice through.
Yeah,
in a beautiful cut,
and
it off, so like just below the shoulder, joint.
And that's really well thought out by you all as well, because the werewolf is actually immune to normal weapons. However, because there's no magical weapons in Mythras, once you cast Blade Sharp on it, then it becomes magical, so to speak. So if you have something like Bludgeon, which is, you can cast that on a hammer or whatever, and that would actually cause it to be magical and then actually to cause damage. And what I'm going to rule at this point is that so, Hengist, you swipe your one-hand sword down, and the glow of Amriel slices through the arm of the werewolf that actually falls to the ground, releasing Cyrus at the same time. And due to the failed endurance roll, the werewolf passes unconscious. Okay, so if it was in a head, body, or abdomen, it would be dead. But because it's on the limb and failed, then it immediately goes unconscious and falls to the ground. And it's that unconsciousness that actually causes the re-switch back. And what I was going to say is that, but you actually made your willpower roll, Cyrus. So as you switch back to the other body, you don't lose consciousness yourself. As you come into the back into your body, and you notice that your leg, well, you know exactly where your leg. Darth says, "Quick, everybody, leg it." Sorry. So. It's you're aware that you had hold of your leg, but now you look down, and the wolf actually sort of like falters for a while, as there's probably quite a good spurt of arterial blood that shoots out in Hengist's and Bartleby's direction as you sever the arm completely. I always imagine Hengist would be quite pleased about that, bathed in the blood of his conquest, as he sort of like rips it about. Bartleby, are you happy to be covered in blood?
Not at all.
Not happy at all. Okay, then
Of course not. I've done my. I need to have my clothes clean for Amriel's.
Just roll an evade skill then.
I'm gonna take off the characteristics really quick
Yeah.
on my character sheet.
Do you know
No.
I actually heard your roll on roll 20 then through your mic.
My mic?
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was maybe mine, actually.
But I could hear somebody's that didn't come from. It was definitely far off. Yeah. So do you wish to use a point of luck at this point?
No.
Yeah. So you slice off the arm, and Hazra, you see this spurt of blood, and I imagine that the wolf probably howls and turns as he rears round, and this blood sort of like bathes Hengist, and Bartleby just remembers to close his mouth at the right time as it sort of like covers him as well, and the werewolf slumps down face down into onto the ground, and there's this constant pulse of blood.
That arterial blood, yes.
Yeah, just sort of like drips out, and you notice that the arm is there, just sort of like twisting.
That's good, so it doesn't sort of like crawl away.
Yeah, it comes towards Bartleby and grabs his. Yeah,
right.
and you're sort of like, Cyrus, you're back in your body now. This werewolf is
Get back in your cage.
well and truly. And, from what looks like it's happened, it looks like, Hengist, you probably saved Cyrus, because this werewolf had hold of his leg and could have ripped it off at any point. But you came down and severed the arm with the aid of Bartleby's power, or well, not Bartleby's aid, Amriel's aid, I should say. And yeah, and the werewolf is face down in the ground. Yeah.
As will pull his spear out, he'll put his foot on on the left leg and just twist it as he pulls it back
Oh,
out.
nasty! So I go
Alright.
to almost like try to make a fire. Yeah, and Zach is over here, as you can see, and the two guards are stood behind him, and all three of them are very wide-eyed, and the guards look quite substantial. They're not being sick or anything, but Zach definitely looks somewhat peakish and pale. Yes, Cyrus, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm gonna shake my head, trying to get used to my switch of reality. I quickly yell, "Quick, tie up the limbs!" I'm gonna grab some rope from my inventory. And,
Yeah, and
suggest that we tie up the limbs really quick.
and the two of the guards sort of like come over, and they're helping, and one of them picks up or points at the arm of the werewolf, and so like says, "Do you want this tying up as well?" Or do we just leave that one?
Leave that there for now.
Okay, and they sort of like start to tie up the werewolf
I'm
together.
thinking hog tie as much as possible, even though we're one arm's kind of not there.
Yeah.
But,
so just to let everybody know, and we'll tie it up. So if you suffer a major wound, remember, if you fail your endurance roll, then if it head, body, or chest, you're dead. Full stop. However, no matter if you succeed in it, you cannot. You're immediately incapacitated. You can't fight. And if it's something is not healed within an arm is 5 times your healing rate, so it should be on your top of your sheet somewhere that says healing rate. Then 5 times that in the number of turns, then number of rounds. If it's not done by then the player or the monster dies of shock and loss of blood. And just so you know, if it's on your head, chest, or abdomen, and you actually do resist it, i.e. you make your endurance roll, then it's 2 times your healing roll rather than 5. So yeah, so this werewolf is now tied up, and it's getting a little bit soggy, Hengist, where you are at the moment, because this werewolf is definitely leaking out a lot of it.
I'm assuming it's just leaking out right now from its arm.
Yeah, that's the only place.
I was wondering if I'm going to try something. I'm going to roll for Fireblade, and I'm going to try to cauterize.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to roll it. That's absolutely fine. You can cauterize the blood.
I just want to stop the bleeding, so that way we can maybe hopefully use him to interrogate. And do a little interview. Hey, what's up, bud? Why are you attacking us?
So the only in order for that to happen, somebody will have to heal him. He needs to be healed. Otherwise, he will die because of shock or whatever. So he needs to be healed if you want to keep him alive. But even then, he will. It's not necessarily it will actually still be unconscious. So he'll definitely need to be healed. Or Bartleby, you would have to stabilize him. Hazra, you've got your spear back out. You've got that now, and there's this smell of burnt wolf skin and singed fur. And Zach goes and sort of like over here and crouches behind the rock, and you hear various retching sounds. I think it's a little bit all too much for him. You heroes are used to it being, but to him he's not. And the guards seem to be fine. One turns to the other. He says, one of them turns to the other one and says, "Never had this much fun at the guild house. This seems a really good thing."
I'm going to approach Bartleby in the group, get a little closer.
Yeah, I imagine Bartleby's going.
Very
I
much.
just cleaned this.
I just cleaned it this morning, and look at the state of it now.
Amriel is not going to enjoy this.
She's going to be downright ashamed of me if I come praying to her like this.
You're like a blood moon. Oh, actually, that's Margoth, isn't it? So
Yeah,
you're
Maroth's gonna love that if I show up like that. Amriel's gonna be.
Amriel supports like Daz or whatever it is.
Yeah. Does Bartleby have a change of
White or
clothing in his? Does Bartleby have a change of clothing? No, I think
I think for our afternoon jaunt that was supposed to take only 3 hours, Bartleby probably wouldn't pack.
Yeah. So Cyrus, you go across to Bartleby, who is sort of like moist with werewolf blood. You do notice that it's not that pale red runny type. It is that thick arterial blood type.
Proper blood.
Yeah, real blood.
Real blood. Look at the lipids.
Yeah. Yeah, Cyrus and Bartleby, you were in conversation. Go for it.
All right. So, should we preserve it or should we let it die? Because we probably have a few questions. Am I right? Or
Questions for a monster?
hey,
Would the monster be able to understand us? Says Hengist as he's cleaning off his blade with a scrap of cloth.
What
let's
do you
see
mean
what
talk
happens.
to it?
Let's see. Well,
Do you think this is sentient, or do you think it is a
it seemed a little
beast?
intelligent. It's
Then let's-
It's an abomination.
Let's see what Amriel thinks. Amriel may agree with Cyrus. I'll walk over, place my already dripping with blood hand, the one I've been using to wipe off blood, and I'll put it on its wound, I guess, and say,
Cauterized wound.
if this is chosen by Amriel, then he shall not be killed, and here's my roll.
Okay, so you're healing this creature.
A stabilizing.
Don't forget, it's a hard because you got a spare in your leg. Something like this. Don't do it. No.
So I just need to be clear that Bartleby, you are stabilizing, healing. You're performing a healing on this creature.
On its left limb, because Bartleby is prone to it. If it's intelligent, then it might be able to be persuaded. There could be some sort of other problem.
Yeah.
I
But-
don't
Or
understand
a
where the
reason it's attacked
intelligence.
us.
I don't
Perhaps it
understand
was
where we're
cursed.
getting intelligence from, because it just charged at us and attacked us. What's intelligent about that?
Will seem to
Be a
be
curse.
magically protected.
Hazard, can you
And
just...
most small creatures, most beasts
No,
are not
it-
magically corrected.
No, I'm sorry, but this thing had glowing eyes. It came from the darkness. It attacked us. It's an animal. It is
Yeah.
a single bloodlust, as simple as that.
If it,
Why-
if
why
it
would
turns out
we-
to be the case, if it turns out not to be sentient being,
I'm sorry.
then we'll kill it again.
If it was a boar charging through and attacked us, would you heal it?
Oh,
Or would
nice.
you
I
cook
like
it?
that. Yeah,
it's
you wouldn't
not
heal
hard.
it. You would cook it.
Cook it. Of course you cook. It's a boar. Lots of meat, fat, lovely, juicy fat.
We've immobilized it. We took off its arm.
But it's a wolf. It's a beast. It's a huge
true.
abomination of
Hazard
nature.
was making a good point. Bartleby, do you know any of what sort of creature this could be? Because it's clearly more than a normal wolf. Do you know of any
Pretty
histories
confident
of
wearing a
these things?
loincloth.
Could Hazra, through his many journeys to the wilderness, would he have heard or seen anything like this? Could I make it like a law?
Yeah,
nature
by all
to see
means.
if
And Bartleby, you can make a law monster roll if you wish.
Thank you.
I don't know of anything like this, but maybe it's a goblin.
Hazra, you have, I mean, you know a lot of the normal animals or normal nature that's around in Odess, and this is completely...
It's an abomination.
Yes, I mean, it's completely alien to what you would and your brotherhood would sort of like class as the natural circle of life, without singing it. Bartleby, yeah, Bartleby. So yeah, so you actually make your, just to let you know, your law monsters wasn't going to be hard. It was actually going to be formidable, to see whether or not you know this, but you remember something in your library, something on your musings that you've read before, that in Lindo's history, the history of Lindo, that there was an attack by a rabid beast like this creature, and you remember seeing the image of it tearing souls apart within Lindo, and it sort of like matches up with everything that you've said. So you know, in the passage it says that things like it ransacked the town with taking no damage from any weapon. Spears were chucked at it that it pulled out and cast to one side, completely oblivious to the damage. And it was actually, just out of interest, that it maimed and ripped and killed loads of the Lindo population, you know, 20, 30 of it. But the interesting thing is, they actually got rid of it by actually pure numbers rather than anything else. So even though the weapons were doing no harm to it, a bit like Hazra, the creature ended up with arrows in its legs, in its body, in its head, that actually made it too difficult to fight. It was a bit like a pincushion, and it was at that point, that the passage actually says that the beast leapt over the walls and headed off into the wilderness. And then it says Lindo was safe once more. And it's quite, you remember this quite vividly from your role, that it actually stated that it leapt over the wall. It didn't say clamber or scaled. It said leapt over the wall and headed off into the wilderness.
Just as a quick question, and I might not know this from that role. I mean, it's not the case that it's approached as like a cursed creature. Is it more like it's a biological thing, that like a dragon is a biological thing rather than a thing cursed to become a dragon?
It was, from what you read, this seems to be its form. There's nothing in the account to do with lycanthropy or anything like that. It seems that this is its form, so it's not something that and Bartleby wouldn't know this, but just to let you know, the account doesn't say, oh, it was a full moon and it transformed from a man to a wolf. It doesn't say that at all. It just says that it came out like this beast and attacked.
I think instead of healing, if you allow me to retract that, I think Bartleby, no matter what kind of case, as everybody's arguing, he'd get lost in thought as he's pondering on that tale and thinking about how Hengist just killed this beast. And if it's just a beast, then couldn't dismiss any curse on it.
And it's quite trussed up or tied up, and the guards step back. And Zach does come around and sort of like looks at it, and then he looks at you all four of you across the over the body, and he sort of like, he looks very pale, and he's got some of that orange sick juice just down the side of his mouth or dripping off his chin, and he sort of like looks at the arms and the legs of this thing, and this isn't transforming back at all. It's still in its wolf. It's still as a hybrid wolf. So it looks everything like a wolf, but it's actually able to. It attacked on 2 hind legs, but as you remember, it came towards you, probably on all 4s, and then adopted the stance. And Zach looks down to it and sort of like gets a little bit close, and then sort of like puts his foot near it, and then he looks at you, all 4 of you, and says, "Was this what attacked the caravan?"
I believe so.
Yes, we think these are. How should we look at this creature's feet? And are they more like huge paw shaped?
Yes, and
and with a match up to the tracks that he saw earlier around the caravan.
Completely. And Bartleby, you notice that the claws, the talons of this beast would definitely coincide with any injuries that you saw either here, but more importantly, back at Lindo.
And you can even take this back. I got it. Hello, look, I got this hand.
And he,
Well, we have to for Hengist's story to make sense that he's going to tell.
and it's Zach sort of like looks up and sort of like says, "Did this kill my sister?"
I think it did. Maybe it knocked over an oil lantern.
Maybe indirectly.
And he
Possibly.
maybe in the end it did, and that's where all that matters is, what led to that. Yeah, that makes sense. We're gonna go with that, right?
Just live your life for your sister's benefit. She had hope and pride. She was very proud of you.
And and Zach goes up to the trussed up werewolf, for want of a better name, and just sort of like puts the boot in a bit, and just sort of like kicks it, as if to say, "How dare you!" And
Can Hazra kind of try to throw his voice? And go, "Oh,
yeah, if you want to use a ventriloquist skill, if you
ventriloquism."
do, you have it?
No, but I may.
I think that is there. I think there's actually ventriloquism in
There is.
in D&D, but is it?
Oh, it's on D&D, right? It's called something else.
Influence.
It can make noises.
Yes, it's influence. It's oratory. You just make a boring sermon, and that's it. Okay then. So
we decided to just let it die or kill it.
We are not letting this thing roam around free. We need to end it now to make sure it does not harm any more caravans like this.
chopping its head off might be a good way.
Yeah, or put it on the fire.
Oh, the
Look
smell
at
of
the
it
meat.
all!
Look at the meats to
No, I'm not gonna eat this.
Hengist will
We can
step
have a leg
forward.
each.
Old meat.
So Hengist will step forward and end this creature rightly.
Yeah.
Slice its head off.
He will just stab
We
it.
need a trophy. We need a trophy.
Yeah, and you sort
Then
of
rid of
eats
it.
it.
you sort of like hack its head off, and it looks pretty dead in any case, but now it's definitely is dead, but yet again there's no transmutation or transformation or anything occurring. It just
Why would there be? Because it's just a vicious.
exactly.
I worried. I didn't want an innocent soul that we could save to die.
And Zach mutters,
It's killed a caravan of people.
and Zach mutters,
So
and,
cursed things kill caravans of people.
and
If
this,
you were turned into a monster, Hazra, I would work my hardest to dismiss that curse from you.
I would expect you to kill me and put me down.
I can just everybody's writing that down. Kill Hazra. I've written it down.
Even if he does not turn.
The next time just to clarify, Medivac, the next time Hazard kills a bandit, we're killing you.
No, that's different. I'm normal. I'm not cursed.
I've
That's
just
my natural go-to place.
I've just got a note now. If you want to get rid of Hazra, curse him.
Yeah.
I know everybody else is just jump on.
Hang on, aren't you already cursed with your black arm?
No, that's just tan.
It's just
Oh,
heavily
okay.
heavily tan. You
It's
do
very, very deep tan.
you
You're
do
very, very
notice
deep
that
tan,
as
yes.
Zach goes back to their little campsite, being protected by two of his guards, you do hear him muttering something, and that he will take revenge on whoever did this to his sister. If there's more out there, they will all pay the price. And then he wipes the bit of puke from his mouth and goes back, and the guards sort of like say, yeah, us too, and sort of like go back, and they have their own little campsite over here. It's on the opposite side of the road, and they're sort of like getting settled down into their blankets and bedrolls. And yeah, you go through the night, taking watch as you go. So Cyrus and Bartleby, you'll be able to regain your magic points. And then remember, Bartleby, is your devotion pool reduced at all?
Yep. So I'll be at magic points 11 instead of 14.
Brilliant.
Because I'm refilling my entire devotional
Yeah.
pool. I was at 1 out of 4. So
Brilliant. And
Yeah.
Cyrus, are you going to talk about your spell at this point or not?
I'm thinking about that because I feel like there's maybe a little bit of history that I don't want everyone to know that I'm able to do that.
And that's whichever we decide to do.
I might tell Bartleby because Bartleby at least has a general idea of, of magic use, and it won't be such an abstract like thought for him. But for the others, I think Hazard will freak the f out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
If
are
you
you
figure that-
going to wait till say Bartleby's watch, and are you going to go up and have a chat with him?
Yeah.
Okay then. So let's see how that plays out. So Hazard and
Wait until he's meditating with the moon. They go, oi.
Oh yeah.
Oi.
I just go
Bartleby,
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 Bartleby.
Bartleby.
And
I just sit down with my sheepskin full of wine.
yeah, so
All right.
you're both sort of like sat by the fire. It's quite cold, so you're probably wrapped up in your blanket, sat by the fire. The fire's almost like low glowing embers, but there's still some substantial heat radiating from it. And Bartleby, can you just roll a 1d?
It's cold outside.
Just roll a 1d4 for me, please.
1d4.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, so Amriel is actually waning at the moment, so she's not bearing all to the land and covering it in moonlight, but she is up there, but you know that you're coming into the phase when Maroth will take control of the night skies for a period of time before they swap back, but you're managing to get bathed in some of her light. The skies are quite cloudy at the moment, and you figure there's probably the possibility of rain coming towards you all. And as you're sort of like sat down, Bartleby, then Cyrus comes up to you, and yeah, go for it, Cyrus.
Pretty crazy fight, huh?
Yes, it's fortunate Hengist was able to save you.
Give or take, yeah. So you noticed there was about halfway through the fight, there was kind of a shift for motivation. All of a sudden, instead of the wolf attacking you, it went after me.
It was perhaps the light of Amriel blessing Hengist's blade that caused the beast to see that we are the forces of good.
See,
This is
you're
not going
a
to be
trustworthy
easy.
guy. You can hold secrets, correct? A little.
I suppose.
Here's the thing. Here's what really happened. I have ability, something I've had since I started when I was trained when I was younger. I have the ability to switch consciousness with other beings. I've only used it a few times in my life because, it takes a toll on me, but I didn't see us able to survive this creature unless I took matters in my own hands. So I switched into the creature. The creature was then switched into me. So that's why I ran after my body to immobilize myself. Does that make sense?
It does. We used to have a sorcerer that traveled with us that had powers sort of similar, less movement of the mind and more of physical things, moving
Yeah,
people
well,
in different spots.
when I was first introduced into my military career, I was hired specifically for my ability to do that. But I'm hoping that this can be between us. I don't think they will like the fact that I can do that. At least at this moment, they might not understand my ability.
That seems
But
fair.
I feel like maybe sometime in the future, it would be nice to have someone in the group know that I'm able to do that. So if I have to do it again, at least maybe you'll be able to stop them from murdering me in the other body.
Oh, yeah. Bartleby has to carry a lot on his broad shoulders.
Yeah,
So
that-
I
like
smack him. I
confessions.
smack him on the back and say, I knew I can trust you. Then I get up to go back to sleep.
First of all, Cyrus is smaller than Bartleby.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Marley takes that little slap on the back and just thinks on that for a moment.
You're not going to slap him back with the power of Unreal?
Yeah, shock.
You know, if I do that, it's more like an electric shock that'll give him a dead leg. Yeah, Bartleby will return to his pondering on that and looking to the moon, hoping for some moonlight.
End scene.
End scene, yes. Completely. So I was just looking at spells. Can you roll for me your devotion or religion, Bartleby? If you've got religion as a skill, roll that. But if you don't, use your devotion.
I don't have anything like lore of religion. Bartleby doesn't really.
Okay, so just roll your
So-
devotion, but it's a hard roll.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Oh.
You could use a point of luck if you wish.
I'm considering it, and why not? I'll use a point of luck there.
Okay, so you are aware of all the old gods that exist because your Amriel and Maroth are old gods rather than the new gods that actually, the new world deities that actually focus on things like war, crafting, knowledge, etc. Or from the old deities, as well as Amriel and Maroth, there are also that there's people who worship Solaris, who's the actual sun god, goddess, or should I say, and then there's various elemental worshippers, whether or not that's water by Hydris or earth by Granius, but you are aware that there's also some gods or deities that actually cover nature, both the flora type and the fauna type. And there's a deity called Tabris, and it is rumored these are a bit like Hazra. They shun the population, they wear animal skins and things like that, but it is rumored that they can actually change form. Now, this is unknown to many of the deities. It's not actually a miracle that you know or have even heard of within Amriel, but they are rumored to be able to change form. Whether or not this is just a rumor or whether or not it's they can actually do it. You're not too sure.
We've been to a shrine of Tabris before, haven't we?
Yeah. Hence why I allowed you to do your roll.
Yeah, that makes sense. Am I thinking that while looking at the body of the werewolf, hoping that it doesn't shift back?
No, it's actually Cyrus prompted you to think about it when he said about you know, possessing something else, and that got you thinking about actually becoming an animal. And that's what I mean. There, just for Mr. Pickles, there is a miracle called beast form that allows people to actually change form. I think sorcerers have shape change, and theists have beast form. So, but it's I don't think it's is it in your repertoire?
I'm pretty sure it's not. At least not in the my current level. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's at any level for me.
Yeah, cool. So you are aware of, and that's not actually a switching of consciousness. That is the power of Tabris, almost like invoking the change and supporting the change to actually allow them to switch. So you are somewhat familiar with it, but not. You are not aware. You don't know anybody who's actually does
Stop
it.
saying that.
Saying what, sorry?
Aware, wolf.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you are not aware. ...
You are not aware. Did anybody get injured in that attack, by the way?
I almost had my head get taken off, but the power of a small wooden club.
But you did get covered.
Wood.
But you did get covered in blood.
Yes, and you drank
Personal injury is not a physical injury.
into your mouth.
I could have gotten hurt. I don't think I got hurt.
No, I think you probably got a badly bruised leg.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Okay, so that seems a reasonable time to... It's 8:30, so we're going to take our first break. Well, our only break of the night. I keep saying our first as if we're going to do it later on, but we're not. So we're going to have a quick rest. We're all going to go off and walk around. Captain Kangaroo and Mr. Pickles are going to go and make their lunch. And we're just going to make drinks, etc. So do come back afterwards so we can see what happens and what the party decides to do with Zach, the guards, and their current direction of travel. Will they continue to Airwood, or will they turn back round and head back to Lindo? We will find out after the break. So we'll be back about 20 to the hour. Okay, so go away and we will see you all soon. And be right back. Ching. Is that Peter?
Yeah, this guy's been annoying me all morning.
Oh, not annoying you. He loves you. That's what they do.
He woke up every time I make a movement when I'm asleep. He's like, "Oh, you're awake now." So then he climbs to wake me up even more. I'm like, "You bastard!"
My wife does that.
Are you eating fruit?
Oh! The wife has arrived. She heard that.
Oh,
Too late.
someone's on the couch tonight.
Did you peek through?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, what, love? How are you doing?
How is it? When I
The social with the bin bag.
when I had a cat, and I still sleep like this now, if my toes were out uncovered from the duvet, then she would literally find them and bite them. And so what I used to do is tuck my duvet over my feet and back underneath, and I still do that to this day, even though I haven't got a cat here at all. So
See, I put must on my feet. Must, yeah.
just, sorry, I thought you were still talking about your wife. I didn't know whether or not.
No, not true.
Many back.
Ladies, I was talking about you, and I'm brave enough to say, run.
Brilliant. So we're back together, and it's the next day, and you're sort of like everybody is gathered round the fire. There's probably Hazra, you've probably caught something throughout the night. You know, that is obviously you're not eating roasted werewolf. You might have, you know, caught some rabbits or something like that, which would be absolutely perfect for this. And you also
Rabbit.
and you
Like, taste that rabbit.
but really it's a werewolf. And you're sat round, and Zach is there sort of like sipping his hot water or tea or whatever, or coffee, and the two guards are at either side of him. And Zach looks up to you, and you know he can still see the freshly dug and mounded up burial site of Molly, because Bartleby dug a grave for her, and he sort of like looks at it, and there's still remnants of the destroyed wagons around, although yours, Hazra, and the merchants are still intact, and you've still got Brutus, and they've still got the horses, and you all sat round there, and there's that early morning silence when you never know whether or not it's because people can't talk until they've got some caffeine in them, or that awkward silence that means that somebody obviously wants to ask a question but doesn't actually know how to phrase it, and you make polite conversation. Yeah, go.
Azra will notice Zach looking at him, and he'll raise his head and say, "So Zachary, I know you have had a very powerful loss. How are you feeling this morning, my friend?"
And he sort of like looks up from whatever he's eating or drinking, and he says, "It's just Zach. It's not Zachary. My name is Zach."
My apologies, Zach. It's for you city folk, you tend to shorten your name as like a term of courtesy.
My parents couldn't remember more than 2 syllables.
And he sort of like says, he looks at you all, and as he says this, he sort of like scans the all of you, and sort of like makes positive eye contact with every single one of you, and he sort of like says the following as he scans around, and he says, "My family is dead. My younger sister is dead, and I'm halfway between, or on my way between Lindo and Airwood. Obviously, I have a question to pose to each and every one of you. What happens now?"
Well, Zach, we do what we're paid for. We take you to Airwood. We take this caravan to Airwood like we said we would do. And we will protect this caravan every step of the way until our contract is filled. because that is who we are. We are very honourable people, and it's as simple as that.
He just incited you and got an 18, and I presume you're telling the truth at this point.
I am indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how Hazra feels. He's very passionate about this. He will not break his word.
Yeah.
Unless there's some amazing and mitigating circumstance.
And
she doesn't know what the words mean.
And Zach looks up at you and sort of like says, "I'm honoured to call you all my friend." Don't spoil the moment, Cyrus. Just don't spoil the moment. I just know. Well, sorry.
Hazra will take a step forward towards Zach, and he will embrace him.
Oh.
In that family kind of way. You know, when grandfathers died.
Yeah, and you
hug him, and then you give that extra squeeze at the end.
Yeah, and you hug and pat the back, so
That's
you
right.
know it's not actually a real hug. It's a
No, it's a proper. Just give me a proper hug.
Oh.
No, this is give me a proper hug with an extra squeeze at the end, so he knows it's.
Oh, he makes
from the
his
heart.
insight roll again, and he's sort of like he seems to be a bit stiff when you first embrace him.
No, not that kind of hug.
Yeah. But sort of like when you give him the extra squeeze, he sort of like gently pats you on the back, and he looks at Hengist, Bartleby, and Cyrus as if to say, "I hope this is not a threesome idea that everybody has to hug him." And he sort of like nobody else moves, and then he says, "So I suppose we better get a move on."
Yeah.
To Airwood.
You don't tell us where to go.
Yeah. So
Hazard, do you know how to? Maybe we would like to bestow this trophy of this dead animal.
To be
Do you
fair,
know how to preserve the head at all, or?
Says my friend, we need to take something back to the Lindo. So maybe why don't we give something to one of the, maybe give the we 1 day from Lindo at the moment, aren't we?
Coming to the end of the you're closer to Lindo than you are to Airwood.
So my friend, why don't we send one of these guards back with your trophy, and maybe Bartleby can write a letter describing that we have slain this beast, and to be aware that there may be more out there, because we need to warn Lindo if there are more out there.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps maybe Bartleby could draft the letter and send one of the guards back with this. We
Also
could take
express
my
that we know that
card.
we destroy this beast too.
Yeah, we
So
destroyed
express
this
that.
one. Yeah, so take the head and the hand, and we will take Brutus with all of us to Airwood.
Well,
No?
I don't have any like ink or quills.
Use blood.
I literally do. I swear.
You have some for all of your letter writing.
Cyrus has this this wonderful bag of holding that he just pulls things out.
Looks like it.
He's like Mary Poppins.
And some
I mean, if you
veal.
have some, I'd be happy to write. Though I would.
Maybe hold on. Maybe
Does Cyrus have a literacy skill?
No,
No, so
it's mostly just check marking things.
a check mark. You can't see what you're check marking, but you just.
Okay, maybe I don't actually have that. Never mind. I thought I did. I don't have it. I lied to you. My bad.
So yeah, no, you could tell the guard what to say, and he can relate it back to Lindo.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
Bartleby, you do this, or
Unless-
or Hengist maybe.
The guard sort of like the guard sort of like pick up 2 bits of stick and put and sort of like draw straws for it, and the one who loses sort of like looks at you all. He says, "Am I meant to walk then?"
No. You take the other cart back. Can you drive it? But you
Yeah.
didn't drive it. You were sat at the front all the way here.
He sort of like turns to the other guard, and you notice that he's got this smirk on his face as if to say, ha ha ha, I'm taking the wagon and going back to Lindo and you're staying here. And he says, yeah, no, that's good. I can drive the wagon, and yeah, do you want any of the luggage from the back?
Yes, if you could take what provisions you need to get back to Lindo, but put the rest onto Brutus, onto our car.
Yeah, so there becomes this train of luggage going from one to the other, and it keeps getting piled up into.
Just while this is happening, Hazard will go to Hengist and to Cyrus and to Bartleby and say, Is this all right what I'm doing? I don't want to be in charge here. I would have thought one of you three would have stepped up to give some orders and things. This is not my way of doing things.
I'm gonna be honest, Azra. I'm hungover, so this morning is not my morning. You continue what you're doing. I'm gonna try to make sure I don't.
You're going to have a sleep in the wagon. We all know what you're going to do.
Yeah,
Don't
but
do it under the wagon.
not until about 9.
Or switch. Why don't you switch bodies with Brutus? That'll be fun. Or you could switch bodies with Bartleby, go off and kill a whole load of people. And then what did you do?
Don't spoil fun
Yes.
I can do in the future. No, I just continue. Yeah, let's just have. We have 2 carts all together, right?
Yeah. So Brutus and the wagon that belongs to Hazra, and everything's moving from the other wagon into that wagon, apart from what the guard needs to get back to Lindo, plus an arm of the werewolf, and plus the head as well. Yeah, that is probably wrapped up in some kind of tarpaulin or some kind of cloth at the moment.
I assume I also grabbed the rope and put it back in my inventory.
Yeah, by all means. It's a bit bloody in places, but I'm sure.
It's fine.
I'm sure nothing
atmospheric.
gets. I'm sure that nothing gets transferred via blood, so don't worry.
Hazard will make sure he
Quick,
says.
lick it.
Say again, son.
Hazard wants to make sure the guard knows to go to Count Bastion with this. Good, take it to Count Bastion's guards and tell him it's a matter of urgency that we have slain this beast. Or Hengist, the ex-guard of Lindo, has slain this beast.
Oh, nice little touch. Hengist, you can have 2% onto your famed warrior.
Really getting there, guys. 2% of this. All right, I guess we continue on the road again.
Okay then. So you're heading to Airwood, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay then. So you sort of head off again, following the path, and the path is well trodden, and it's quite easy to follow it. And like I said before, the seasons are changing. It is getting colder, but there's enough light throughout the day to monitor your progress. And to the north or to the right of the caravan, you see the countryside stretch off for some time, some space, and then in the distance you can see the thick wood that Hengist was Bartleby. Yes, Bartleby was that you remember you travelled through to get to the Library of the Mystics, and beyond this green blanket of forest trees in the distance you can see the mountains, noble and proud, standing up, with their tops draped with white and grey clouds. And as you're riding along at probably not a fast pace, because oxens are not known for their speed, plus there's more to carry. Hazra, are you driving your wagon?
Yes, I will be.
Yeah. Okay, and the other people are either walking by the side, or if you want to be in the wagon, then that's fine. And Zach is always accompanied by his guard. And Hazra, I would like you, say about halfway through the day, after you've all stopped, for something to eat, etc. Hazra, you're just sort of like having a look round at the land. Could you roll me a perception roll for me, please?
That's 62 hard.
Yeah, and you sort of like went up, looking almost invisible on that rock. You just blend in, yeah, and you sort of like up on the rock, having a look at, and you haven't seen these all day, but it seems to be now they're quite apparent. Far to the distance, really at the edge of your eyesight, and you can definitely see what appears to be a pack of wolves. You're familiar with wolves and you've seen them before, and you've probably seen them at this distance, and they seem to be masking their numbers by going in and out of the forest. And you know it's definitely a pack because you at least see 5 or 6 at any one point. They seem to be moving with you, but parallel to you on the edge of the forest. And one thing that you've noticed now is when you're all stopping for lunch, out in the distance, you can see that some of them are still stood up, but some of them are on, sat down, and some of them are lying down, not on their sides, but, resting.
Yeah.
And you can see them, and they're literally, you can't chuck your spear this far, and it's right on the edge of your eyesight, but they definitely are resting at the same time as your group is resting.
Right. I'm glad you said they were like going in and out of the forest to hide the numbers, because otherwise it'd be like some people.
Yes, they're not walking, because I've used that joke already in this. And I never repeat jokes.
No, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Until people stop laughing through stuff.
Yeah. Well, once we start chucking things, then you stop. Yeah.
And Hazra will notice this, and he'll say to Hengist, Hengist, I think we're being followed by wolves over there. It sounds very strange, as in wolves are a very noble creature, but after last night's escapades with that abomination wolf, then I'm a little bit worried that this is linked or some in some way connected, because they seem to be stopping when we stop and they move when we move, but they're just can you see them by the forest over there?
I can't see them, Hazra. Your eyesight is.
Hengist can't see this. He's actually got his back to you, thinking, "Who's that?"
Wolves? Where?
Who's Hazra?
Where's Hazra gone? Who's this voice? No, so Hengist will say, he would have said that, and said, I mean, they could just be moving, or does it seem to be? Are they hunting us?
No, they seem to be stopping when we stop and moving when we move, but keeping a good distance away, but running in the same line as us, but a great distance away.
I think
it's almost like if I was tracking a beast through the wilderness, it's what I would do. I would follow them in a parallel off the scent of the wind, but follow them all the way.
In that case, I think we just keep an eye on them, and then as soon as they start getting closer, or if it seems that they are hunting us, although I'm not sure if wolves would hunt a group of humans, but
what I will say is, if you can see a defensible place for camp tonight when we get in near, when the light is getting dimmer,
I'll keep an eye out for a good defensible spot for camp.
I will do the same thing as well. I just thought with your tactical knowledge you would be able to help me find a suitable defensive position.
I'll call out one near as we get near to camping for the night.
As luck would happen, this whereabouts you are on the map now looks like a really good defensible place. But you're
because it has turrets and catapults.
But you're not there at the campsite yet. So, Hazra, are you going to continue to drive and keep an eye out, or are you scouting out?
Watching him driving, but I'll also be looking for Azra's very, very familiar with time frame in the outside. He knows when to set up camp.
Yeah,
So
cool.
he'll be looking for something in a good distance to go, right, that's a perfect place to set up. We'll set up there.
The other thing, just to remind me, because I can't technically remember, did Cyrus and Hazra tell Bartleby and Hengist about what started the fire on the wagon?
No. Hazra didn't, because Hazra was too in shock about the young
Yeah.
girl. So he's not said anything really about that.
And what about Hazra? No. Okay, then.
No.
So you make your way. You
No
can.
reason to.
Yeah. Yeah. You
The
sort of,
thing is, Hazra knows why he did it, because fire would scare away animals. But it's an innocent, and Hazra has no.
you performed.
compunction.
Yeah, Hazra, you performed mighty well.
Yes, I clothed myself in glory.
Yes.
I don't want to tarnish
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you don't want to say that. You don't want to tarnish the glory of that. What was that?
Yeah.
I thought that was my clock. My watch asking me. So,
That was my watch, actually, funny enough. Oh, it goes off again. Stop it.
so you sort of like,
have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
No, because you're useless.
no, shut up. You all start to make progress, and once you've got stomach full of food, etc., which is probably just trail rations, after Hengist Hazra's provided some rabbit for the morning, a bit like bacon butties, and you carry along the road, and Hazra, now that you know what you're looking for, you are very much aware that this pack of wolves are keeping perfectly parallel to you, and if any time you stop or anything like that, they stop, and you are aware. Just roll your survival skill for me. Yeah, you are aware that the prevailing wind is coming from your left side, if that makes sense,
Yes.
blowing towards the mountains. So mainly because if you keep going to the left, you'll come to the coast, but it's coming off the sea, and you probably think that this is how the wolves can track you so well. You're not too sure what their eyesight is like, but they seem to be keeping.
They can follow a scent.
Yeah, very much so. And you continue to travel. Is the idea to keep on the road right the way to evening, and then for Hengist to find a defensible spot?
Yeah, and literally keep travelling until we can find somewhere sensible to stop the night, so we are defended, because there's only 5 of us to guard Zach.
Yeah, and that's it.
And we need to be planning for this eventuality.
So you continue on your way, and it's probably very close to about ready to make a camp, and you're very much aware that you need to almost like set up camp and stop for the night. But as you walk or continue to ride forward, off in the distance on the road, there seems to be somebody in the middle of the road. They seem to be carrying a staff that is held in the right hand and down to one side. So the staff actually is pointing at the ground, but it goes up along their side of their arm and sort of like goes around to their head. Cyrus and Hengist, just roll your combat, or what your law or your strategy or something like that.
Angus is looking the opposite direction.
Yeah, and Cyrus, you see that weapon is in a state of readiness.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously not using it as a walking stick. He seems to be stood in the middle of the road, and legs slightly apart. There's no sign. Well, Hazra might be able to say it. Hazra, just roll your perception, because your perception is really high. Yeah. There's definitely no sign of a horse or a wagon or anything. He just seems to be stood in the middle of the road.
And let me guess, right, he's further away than where we're going to make camp.
Well, you probably think where he actually is stood would probably make a really good campsite. It's almost as if he's got there before, but
I have the higher ground.
yeah, and he just seems to be waiting.
Well, that's in a non-passive way, a non-aggressive way. Sorry, Azra will just trundle Brutus. He's an oxen. He's not going to be galloping away. He'll
No.
just trundle Brutus up, and he will say, "Hello, fellow traveler. How may we help you? Would you like a ride?"
Yeah, so you all sort of like travel towards him, and then at one point, as you get close,
I will whisper to Hengist and maybe even Bartleby to be ready for a possible ambush. So, maybe don't make it too obvious, but maybe hold on to your weapon.
Cyrus reaches for some more oil from his backpack.
You like being on fire, right?
Yeah, and you get closer and you see that he's actually kitted out in what appears to be like animal furs and skins. He seems to be roughly, he looks quite young, maybe just about teenager, maybe 17, 18. He seems to be well toned. His hair is very long and scraggly is probably the best word. It's not unkempt, it's just like scraggly hair. And he has this staff, and now that you're a little bit closer, you can all see that it is, both ends are cupped with some kind of metal, as if it's the original staff has had these two metal ends put on it, and you can see it's metal because it glints in the sun setting rays, and he just sort of like stands there and waits and waits, and then you pull up. And yes, Hazard, what were you going to say?
Hello, my friend. We think we are making camp here. Can we help you? Would you like to have would you like to sit with us and maybe tell us a tale?
He sort of
Or
like,
would you like to ride?
he sort of like looks around, and he almost like sniffs the air, and he looks at you and he says, "Friends, have you seen a rather large wolf in the area?"
We saw one the last night in our last camping spot. Hengist over here will tell you a tale that he well, I leave it to him to say.
We saw.
I was going to say, and he turns around to Hengist and says, "Muted."
Sorry, what? I
Yeah.
didn't hear that. I was asleep.
Go for it.
Can you describe this wolf? Is it a normal wolf? We've been seeing. We've been
No,
trapped by.
he is no normal wolf. He is large, scurries and attacks with 2 feet on the ground, with his other 2 claws or paws upright in a fashion.
We have come across such a wolf as Hazra has mentioned. It attacked us last night.
That is grave news. Did all your group survive?
Our group survived,
All of us.
but the previous group it had attacked another set of caravans, and none of them survived.
That is sad news. I said to the people that they are probably too far ahead for me to catch up. It is great shame. Was the beast that you saw, that was the beast that attacked you, were they alone? Or did you have to fight off their comrades as well?
There was but one that we did fight off.
And at that point, when you sort of like say there's one, he sort of like flips his staff round to sort of like put it straight on the ground, and he immediately sort of like checks out both directions, and it's almost as if he's sniffing the air, and he says, "So the rest of them still exist?"
By
Them?
From what you're saying, it sounds like they do. We only came across the one. Although for the last few nights we have been seeing eyes glowing in the dark outside our camp, just outside our campfire lights.
As you will also say, while listening to this conversation here, but there have been a pack of wolves on the distant horizon, running parallel to us. They seem to be tracking our scent and stopping when we stop.
Yes,
When we move.
I have seen them as well. It's almost as if they are tracking you for some reason.
So, sorry, my friend. Can I please ask your name? I'm Hazra of the Northern Steppes of Odessa.
My name is Brist.
Welcome, Brist. And may I
Welcome
ask,
to you.
Why are you? I understand why you are tracking these things, but what is your concern with these things?
The Council of Airwood hired me to see if I could pursue and catch up to the wagon before it was attacked.
I see. It's such a tragic affair because Zach's sister was in there, and it's Molly was killed in that attack, and it's very tragic to us why that happened. We met Zach in Lindo, and now we are heading back to Airwood to help him.
It is grave. There's a grave concern that only one attacked you.
Are they all similar, or is that the largest of the bunch?
He sort of like looks at you as you engage the conversation, Cyrus, and says, "They normally come in packs, 6 to 8. The rare occasion 10.
Oh man.
Are we talking 6 to 8 of these huge two-legged wolves, which are an abomination of nature?
Yes. We call them hybrids.
But there's 6 to 8 of them?
There has been talk of even more. And there has been time that I have spied a camp of them, especially if they are communicating in their strange whelps and howls. I have seen 12 at a maximum count.
As you will noticeably sort of lean back a little bit with a little bit of shock on his face.
That is grave news indeed, because we only managed to slay. Well, I only managed to slay the beast last night with the help of Amriel. And Amriel's the priest that that's part of our party, that is part of the Amriel's church. Mr. Bass will be here.
Greetings, priest of Amriel.
This is a target you must kill before.
Greetings, priest of Amriel.
Well, I'm really just an initiate of the Church of Amriel. But yes, it was through Amriel's blessings that Hengis' mighty sword was able to slay this creature in one strike.
You are a famed and glorious warrior, Master Hengist. I can see that. I am sure bards will tell great stories of your actions.
This is something I'm trying to work on.
And
As you know, reputation is everything.
And with such a low charisma score, I believe it will be quite hard for you to have the prowess. And who may you be? He talks to Zach. Are you one with these people? And Zach says nothing, and the guard says, no, I'm just here to protect him. I'm from Lindo. This is Zach. Oh, you are Zach.
Damn it. I kind of glare at the guard.
And the guard sort of like goes, as you glare. He says, give me your address and I'll send your eyeballs back. Did you used to say that when you were children?
Literally never heard that. I've never heard that.
I used to say
that is quite a nice one. I like that.
it's like,
If you like your face will stick.
yeah, no, that was always if the wind changes direction, your face is stick. Yeah,
That look off your face. If the wind changes, you'll be stuck like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Put that pet lip away. Yeah.
Give me money or I'll stab you. Oh no.
No, well, I'm sure we used to say, what you staring at? Give me your address and I'll send your eyeballs back. So, yeah, he sort of like says, oh, so you are Zach. Zach goes, yeah? You are somewhat smaller than what the council made me believe you were. Oh, it's 21:21. Sorry. On my clock.
Oh yes.
I get really excited when
21.
the moment's going to be spoilt in roughly about 30 seconds when it goes to 21.
22,
Yeah, but even that's good. 21:22. You know, and
I
then
think it's 23.
yeah, and then we all worry.
24.
Well done, Medivac.
Um,
Gold star, you can tell the time.
so you are Zach,
The power of time.
and one of the guards says, and I'm his guard. I'm his guard. My name's Dom. Greetings, Dom. I'm not too sure who entrusted Zach into your protection, and who may you all be? And he sort of like signals to you all. I have shared my name. Pray tell me yours. I know Master Hengist here, fearless battle, famed warrior, slayer of werebeasts.
Anzuctux. Angus doesn't say that, but Anzuctux.
Yes.
That's Hazra. That's Bartleby, and
He knows me, my friend. I told him
Oh, yeah.
when I asked his name.
yeah, and I'm Jim.
Jim.
Mhm.
Just
Yep.
roll your deceit.
Yar, Jim.
Not Jim the fish.
Not the Jim the fish.
Jimmy Savile.
He's all right, says, greetings, Jim, and initiate of Amriel. So, are you all together in one party?
No, we all just happened to arrive here at the exact same time.
That is very strange indeed.
We are all traveling from Lindo to Airwood. It's a straightforward thing. We promised to go there.
Interesting. Did you meet Jim on the road?
No, Jimmy's a friend. He's come with us, and he's a bit of a joker.
Oh, I see. Ha. Ha.
Ha.
Ha.
I know. He can be quite dry. Once you get to know him, but he's a likable guy. I myself am not used to city folk, but as a city folk guy goes, he's alright.
Interesting.
Now, Brist, I do have a question. Airwood just sent you to take on the possibility of 12 other monstrosities.
My
Up to 12. other monsters.
My job was to protect the caravan.
And they trust you, just you specifically, not a whole group or battalion to kill these giant monstrosities.
Yes,
Pretty impressive.
I am somewhat.
Hopefully.
I am somewhat versed in the hunting and the apprehension of hybrids. I have.
Is there any pointers you can give us for our next battle?
Well, if you cannot harm them, then your biggest tactic, Jim, would be to run.
Jim, just give me one moment while I say what is your staff shot with? Because I see you have metal at both ends. Is it a special metal or just a mundane metal?
It is but a metal. I am not aware of any special metals.
No, I just wondered how you have the power to protect people from these monsters. And I do not. I am very, very adept with my spear. And I'm very adept with my scimitar. But when I cut at this thing, it did no damage whatsoever. The thing would heal from its wounds.
That would be normal. Remember, Master Hazra, not all powers are hidden, are exposed. Some may be hidden.
I do want to see. Can I roll insight to see if he was lying about the metals?
Yeah, by all means, go for it. Go for it, Jim. No, he seems to be telling the truth.
I wonder if it's down to like crits, like we said earlier. And if you got bash.
All right.
Oh, I don't know. Dagnabbit.
So we're travelling to Airwood with Zach, as we promised we'd escort him there. If that aligns with your task now, the other caravan has been unfortunately destroyed, then you are welcome to travel with us.
Would everybody be in agreement with this?
I certainly would, because I'd be interested to learn, if we are attacked again, your skills and the way you would attain such prowess to defeat one of these things.
So
I'm always about learning about how people deal with the animals of the wild.
you expect that there will be another attack then?
We are being tracked by wolves. I expect an attack at all times.
I agree. It seems that another attack will probably be quite soon. And since their scout did not return, then we can expect somewhat larger numbers.
Which is why I need to go back to Lyndon now and tell them that they're expecting larger numbers and you can wait here. Screw you guys, I'm going home. No, I'm not. No, which is why we chose this place as a defensible place. Hengist here pointed out that this is a good place to rest tonight and it's well defendable.
I am happy to accompany you to Airwood if that seems to be a point of travel.
Very well. Mr. Bartleby, you've been strangely quiet. Do you
I've
have
been
some?
considering the stories I've heard of these creatures from the libraries in Lindo, particularly of my church. I'm
Sorry, your mic went funny then, just when you said church. You said, with my, I can't.
I went
I should probably be a
auto-tunes
little
right
closer.
there.
Amriel sometimes auto-tunes Bartleby.
I thought it was Shagger, do you believe?
Yeah.
I'm just, even if I call upon Amriel to bless every blade in this party, and we all stood an equal chance against one of these monsters, the hybrid as you called it. I'm not sure that'd be enough if 8 of them came.
I will not be needing your magic, initiate Bartleby.
Well, everybody can use a little bit of Amriel in their life.
What's the song there?
Everybody goes.
Are we at the campfire right now?
Yeah, everybody goes. Notice that nobody said yeah. Oh, here he goes. Give him a soapbox.
If we're at the campfire, Bartleby would probably take out his.
No!
Don't tell it to the mountains.
Tell the story of the Zugtuck.
Oh, the
Oh, that's a good
Zaptak.
story.
It's a good story.
It is a good story.
That's a very good story. For people who are watching, the party defeated the great Zugtuk. I'm just seeing whether or not I got because I had their own. It was massive.
It was the size of a barn, if not bigger.
It was
And
bigger
Hengus
than
took
the
it on
average bear,
single-handed.
Boo-boo.
It was absolutely huge.
The brave heroes were aided by beautiful goddess Amriel.
Amriel, that's
who
right. The
kept
beauty
them
of
safe
Amriel.
and boosted their natural prowess to divine heights. And our heroes were able to destroy this foul monster. And then we got drunk with barbarians.
Drunk with barbarians.
Yeah,
actually.
yes, not half.
It was like yak milk.
Gulliver got
based.
very drunk, didn't he?
Yeah, Bartleby swore off of drinking
milk
heavily at that
forever.
point.
Do you know, I can't actually
Don't
find.
touch this yak
Can't
milk
relate.
anymore.
Amriel likes a priest who can stay up late and pray to the moon.
Yep.
Not
Not
somebody
drink yak milk.
Wow,
Oh,
there was
follow.
something in that
because they
yak
had
milk.
too much beer. Yeah, it was fermented
It
yak
was.
milk.
It was very fermented.
Yeah, it was,
Very
and it
fermented.
wasn't. I can't find it at all, but it was absolutely gigantic.
It was. It was the size of the what's that tower called? The Empire State Building. Yes.
Not quite that big.
Yeah, that
Like
might.
an elephant-sized thing.
No, it was
Big-
bigger
bigger.
than an elephant.
It was. Yeah, it was bigger than. It was huge.
It was like the land that time forgot Stegosaurus.
You could all actually group round it and actually.
No, I was
fight.
stood at its
And we
back.
wouldn't even. We could all stand in a line and we wouldn't cover its whole front.
No, I was going to say I was at the rear stabbing it, if memory serves me.
Darth remembers it, and he said that there was some exciting action there.
Yep.
Obviously, he doesn't remember it. No, sorry.
You heard about it once, didn't you? Yeah.
He's totally forgotten about it. I can't find it at all, but I wanted to bring in. I can find goblins and
everything too.
wolves and everything, but I can't find. And I think I might have got rid of it because it wasn't like
Next episode.
a token. If that makes sense, it was more like it didn't have the rim round it, didn't it?
No, it's just a big.
It was a
green,
massive monster.
Huge thing.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, Zuktuk!
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what a Zuktuk looks like.
That was a cool battle. Look, it could literally eat.
That's the way it came, and I was there.
Yes,
I pointed at my own screen. You can't see that. But I was
they.
there at the back.
Just to let you know, Bunny Box, there was they gained some horses at one point. I forget what it was for, and they named them. And yes, there was a horse called Butterhobble. And
that was Gulliver's, wasn't it?
yeah, and
Well,
there,
I thought mine was Butter Nubble.
Was
Yeah.
yours
One of them was
Butterfly?
Yeah.
Bartleby's.
and then there was Smoocher. Smocker was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Butternubble. Yeah, so they all had it. Yeah. Okay then, back to the adventure. So I just started to reminisce then about the great Zugtug.
You were right. We had a second break.
Yeah.
You could never
But-
go back.
Yeah.
The direction with the Zugtuck was you can use a little bit of Amriel in your life, just like those brave heroes could use a little Amriel in
Yeah.
their life. Brist.
Okay, so you settle down for your second night, being aware that Hazra, the wolves, stopped as you made camp.
Sorry, what I will say is I will put some traps around the camp.
Yeah, and the wolves, you saw them until you made camp, and then they rested for a while, almost like checking to see whether or not you were progressing. But then you sort of like turn around and set a trap or something, and when you looked up again, they were gone. There was no sight of them. You think they've passed into the woods because you can't see them on the edge anymore. And if they had gone further up or further behind from the direction they come from, then you would have been able to see them, and you can't at all. But everybody make a perception roll for me.
Will I perceive?
You can't see the walls, but you see
got
a
so
huge,
excited
big
then.
yellow
Yeah,
eyes
then you
I
suddenly
was so
realised.
excited then because I saw the star come up.
Yeah.
In the background, and I was like, yeah. I was like, oh.
Hadra's not saying
I
you're
know I
good.
passed.
You're just not that good.
So Bartleby is busy making food. Hengist, Hazra, and Cyrus, you are disturbed somewhat, and the reason you are disturbed is that as night,
Bartle's making food.
yeah, he's actually cooking. As darkness falls and the light starts to leave the land of Odes, and it goes through that dusk phase when the sky is still that purpley blue, but you can't see. Your vision has started to be reduced, especially around the fire. And the thing that unnerves you the most is that you hear a series of howls, and howls that seem to be echoing and replying to each other. But there is something that gets you even more worried. You definitely get the feeling that they're not all coming from the same direction. It very much get the feeling that these howls are surrounding you. They seem to be coming from both the north, south, east, and west, and you sort of like double check and move your head, and Brist looks up from eating whatever you're all eating and says, "You hear them. They will be coming in tonight."
Right. All right. What plans do we have, guys?
Cyrus, switch bodies with Bartleby and run.
Just constantly bring up my HP really quick.
No, use it
I
as bait.
guess.
Use it as bait. Just run off, and he'll die, and you'll come back to your body and go, "Look, find the
Yeah, Briss says, "There will be no sleep for us tonight." And he turns to Zach and says, "Are you armed?" And Zach nods his head and brings out almost like a stiletto dagger, and that he seems to be very proud of. And Brist smiles at him warmly and says, "That's right, Zach. You stabbed them with your letter opener." And the guard sort of like draws his short gladius type sword and says, "I'm ready."
Right, let us. We need a defensive position. Hengist, tell us what to do, man.
Yes.
Talk up.
Can I roll my strategy and tactics roll, please?
Yes, by all means. Anywhere around here would be fine.
We know what to do, man.
All right.
No, Hengist will use his point of luck to
What? Is it that time
Oh, is
already?
that
No, it's not that time.
Oh, I got worried.
That's what the drone was
20
for.
minutes to go.
I'm gonna
you-
turn
Minutes
back
to
to
go.
27,
Uh-oh.
please.
You decide that probably keeping backs to something will limit the attacks from behind, making sure all directions are actually covered, and not getting too far away from the fire, but not stood all back to back on it in case something jumps at you, pounces, and you end up back in the fire. Some of the rocks will provide higher ground that might be used for missile fire. Your real concern is Zach. You don't think he doesn't look like he's made for fighting at all.
No. I think we should all stand with our backs to the fire, but a few paces away from the fire, so that it does not become an obstacle for our fight. I think perhaps Zach and the guard should be closer inside our ring, our defensible ring.
How big is the wagon on this map?
We actually have an image of the wagon. When did we last have it there? Bup, 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 bup.
Ooh.
There you go.
Right, so Brutus will obviously be unattached and feeding. Can we take the wagon?
It should be able to be controlled by everybody. Everybody should be able to move it. Yeah.
All right. So
Because what I was thinking was maybe block.
yeah,
Like
yeah
that?
I have an idea that's might go a little bit against what Henga said with the fire being an obstacle.
Hang on. Hang on. You can roll your war council skill.
That's what I'll do first thing.
I think you can probably stand back and say, he knows nothing.
Go for it.
So, I have an idea, because what we want to do is we want to siphon them into one area so that they're more easier to attack instead of us all being surrounded. I think the best way to do that is just like how the hyenas were an issue before. I can grab one of my oil flasks and make a line. You guys see that? Kind of
Yes.
create a line of oil, and then if they approach, I can ignite it, making essentially a small wall of fire that they probably don't want to go against, being if they're beasts and stupid. And then so the only entrance in this case for them to attack would be essentially there.
That's actually, just so you know, it's not technically true because they could
Jump over the wall.
they could jump over these
They jumped
bits.
over the walls
They
of
can.
Lindo,
I mean, and if
and
the
that would just block us in.
But
yeah,
we don't,
Oh,
we,
I-
to
I-
be
we don't
fair,
know if these are-
we don't know that, do we?
Yeah.
well you
We don't know if these are the
basing
same
it
kind of
on-
wolves.
well
We are
you,
basing it on wolves.
from what you do know was that if you remember in the last combat, the hybrid jumped clean over Hazra and Hengist.
Yeah.
So you do know
And
that
Angus
they.
is just under 6 foot tall, so
Yeah, but we
they
all know
can
white
jump
men
high.
can't jump.
So where would you like to put Zach and his guard?
I would put Zach next to the wagon.
Okay.
Personally, that's my personal. Any change? Anybody want to say anything?
No, that makes sense, but I also would suggest putting Bartleby next to Zach.
Yes.
Yeah.
And me next to Bartleby.
Well, yeah, I should have Hengist
And Hengist next to
Hazard, you
Bartleby.
should both be within reach when the
And
beast comes running.
Cyrus next to Bartleby. And just leave Brist on his own, because he can do it all.
How do I get rid of these lines?
Do you want the other one? Is that the one that you wanted rid of?
Yeah, those lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're in the way. What do you guys think about the fire idea? Yes or no? Yay or nay?
I personally think it's a good idea, but not to light until we see them coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But that's the thing is,
And-
I can
and
be
maybe-
a distance away and light it.
Would your oil perhaps spread on top of these rocks either side?
Would you
Yeah.
not? Would you, or would you? Would
Okay,
you
I
rather
need
being able
to,
throw one at.
yeah,
throw
hang on.
The flask. Sorry.
Maybe put one on Brutus.
I need to know. Sorry, Cyrus. I need to know what is the sheer volume of oil that you're actually carrying around with you.
So this is what I have listed. I think last time I used two of them.
2 flasks.
All I have is where is it? This is oil flask. I have quantity 4, and they both have an encumbrance. They each have encumbrance of 1. So
So
I don't know.
you've used 2 on the wagon.
yeah.
So
I
you
would
you
I
have
6 altogether, and then now I have 4.
right. So this, tell me about this oil, and what is it? Is it some kind of oil that you put in lanterns that burn
Yes.
like? So it's not sort of like high industrious thing that you'll throw down it and go, and there'll be a
this is
wall of
purely
fire.
Just to stay on a light.
Yeah. So you can drop oil around all the rocks if you wish.
Okay.
Well,
His
while
brother, Cyrus Ewing has better oil.
so Cyrus is going around sort of like dousing everything with oil. So this rock here, that line across there. What's everybody else doing?
Hazra wants to set some traps around this side here. Oh,
Yeah.
This side. So he's got 10 traps I have.
Okay.
But just wants to put like trip wires and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So
Just for animals and
So
slow them down.
so Cyrus is going around covering things with oil. Hazra, you're outside laying traps. What about Hengist and Bartleby?
Bartleby, I guess he would probably be, since he's not really a strategy war person. He would be trying to help keep Zach and I guess the guard to a lesser extent kind of calm and focused on the plan here, so that they don't start panicking. Probably talking about there have been greater monsters that Hengist and Hazra have taken down before. Don't worry. This will all turn out as Amriel plans.
Okay.
for it
Yeah.
to turn out,
Okay then.
that kind of thing.
So you're sort of like being positive and sort of like encouraging. And what's
Yeah.
Hengist doing?
There's nothing much Hengist can do until this attack comes, so he's just going to be standing. If the fire's going to be behind us, he will just be standing in the entrance that's left, waiting with his sword drawn.
Yeah.
Maybe sort of like sitting on the floor with his sword drawn, waiting for this attack to
Cool.
appear.
So
Nothing else he can do.
Cyrus, you're busy smearing your 4 flasks of oil everywhere. Hazra, you're busy laying traps. Bartleby, you're consoling or trying to keep Zach and the guard nice and calm. And Brist and Hengist are stood in the doorway, the entrance to the area. And there's 2, you notice, Hengist, that when he stood there, he utters some words, and you notice for a slight moment the ends of his staff glow and pulsate, and they seem to have an almost like a green glow, and they sort of like throb in this green and disappear. And he Brisk turns to you as everybody's busy doing their things, and you sort of like come up and you see it, and he turns to you and says, "You better draw your weapon, Hengist. They arrive."
Hengist's sword is already out. Just a quick question, in Wills.
Yeah.
You said he was dressed in. You said he was dressed in furs, didn't you?
He certainly is.
Would Hengist recognise him potentially as a theist, or a theist of one of the other types of theist? I can't remember what it was. It was
You have
Anabris, because he's seen someone similar in the past.
the only way you would be able to do that is to roll your devotion skill.
Okay, no,
and you
that's
don't
fine
have.
then. That's fine. So Hengist will be standing ready, and then he'll turn and say, "I'm ready. I'm ready when you are." And he'll
And
be holding his sword in a two-handed stance.
I was born ready.
And as you sort of like prepare yourself, then you notice from all the areas, almost like coming out of the darkness quite rapidly, there's a wealth of, well, this is how many you can see at the moment. So they seem to be almost like in circle form, and they seem to all be converging on you and the actual camp. Don't forget to click on your characters and then roll your initiative for me. Just need to put brists on.
Getting some good initiative for Bartleby here.
I was about to say, because I thought it was my roll, and I was like, oh, look up. Oh, no, it's mine.
Did you get a good one?
He got a very good one. He's gonna cast an amazing spell on me first.
Right, let me just open.
Like, you have the power of God.
Here it is. Right, let me just roll my initiative as well. Although I need to, because I'm not as up to date. But I do. What's my initiative?
Ooh,
Nice.
hot dog.
I'll take that.
Shut up. That's like a hack initiative.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
calling
gonna
the
switch
hack
vibes with him.
police. Look at that. Yeah.
Okay.
So will I.
Nice.
Your
One-
body and your
one-
mind are not
one-
mine.
On my 10-sided dice, I actually rolled a 10. Plus my 14 takes it up to 24, which is nice. Okay then, so these beasts are charging in. There's a variety of howls and grunts, etc. And they start to come towards all sides of you at the same time. So this is my movement as I do it. So Hazra, you're laying your traps when
Yes.
one engages with combat. This one leaps up, and that's the end of his movement here. This one engages with you, Hengist. This one, I just need to roll for this. I'm just going to roll my athletics skill to see whether or not he can leap over the
Brutus.
yeah, well, which he does quite nicely and comes across. And then this one comes straight to you, Bartleby, and this one comes to there. So that's my that's my turn done and dusted. So Cyrus, Bartleby, Hengist, Hazra, and then you're all in combat with these creatures, and there's one up on here that actually actually Hengist, that's a lie. Can you see the one that's by Brutus? This one, he's not actually in
And
he's not actually in combat with you because he took an action to jump over Brutus. Yeah, so Bartleby, you're up next. What would you like to do?
I'd like to wish that I had taken Blade Sharp to everybody.
Sure.
That's what I thought
can
you
I
would
have-
do rather than consoling Jack, but is
I
that
thought we would have more time seeing them come on to us from our vantage point, but
No.
they're quick and
lethal?
How long does Blade Sharp last?
All spells last for a scene. So, for example, if you cast a spell now, it would last for the whole of this combat. If there's no technical scene, then it's done either during the day or during the night. So it
Because my question is, if before all this started, would he been able to cast Blade Sharp on all of us, and then we wait, or you know, like how long of a
I don't think you would have been because it's per scene. So if the scene changed for them attacking, it would have cancelled. Am I right by saying
so
that?
he really couldn't have done anything then.
No,
Because-
I know. For example, okay, were these creatures out in the out there? If you had cast Blade Sharp or any prep spells or anything like that, I wouldn't sort of like say, oh, there's 2 hours have gone by, so they're all gone, because that would just defeat the point of it. So, but it's a bit like Zach has cast his spell that I think Hengers you saw. You saw his staff glowing.
You
I did
burst.
see
Yeah.
Briss do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
but thanks for trying to make me feel better, guys.
not a worry.
So in that case, Bartleby is going to call upon Amriel to shield him.
Yeah,
And
good
This
idea.
one lasts minutes compared to scene.
Yes, yeah. So Theus
My miracles
spells
are weird.
actually have durations put it, and sorcerer spells can have durations as well. It's just folk magics that don't, because you can increase it. Nice. Yeah.
I was going to have to use a luck point if that didn't work.
It's like me.
So if I could give it to you, I would, but I made mistakes, and I could have, and we've been over that. So, that's my
So
turn.
is this the enormous one?
No, this is the one that just gives me a blanket over my entire body.
Got ya. Yeah.
Yeah, it's enormous one. 10 points per location.
Well, because technically my other protective spell creates an
Oh,
enormous
yes.
shield.
So this is
however,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing the other one.
So this what's your intensity of the spell then?
10 is the intensity for
Right.
shield.
So it gives you 10 points over all your armor locations, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the armor I'm already wearing doesn't count, so I've just put temporary 9 so that it balances
Yeah,
out.
that's absolutely fine. That's fine on 19. Hazra, you're on 17.
Oh my goodness! It seems in front of me, my spear's on the floor. I will pick my spear up. Can I? Is there a chance I can take a thrust?
Yeah,
Or
I think that would be fine. You're quite used to rising from the...
rather than thrust, I'm going to aim for a leg or something.
Cool.
So here we go with my attack. If I can find where my character sheet is now. Do it.
That is a hit. Hang
Just
on.
meaty thigh lands in front of me. I just thrust forward as I'm pushing this rabbit trap. And he's blocked it.
Yeah, and he sort of like it sort of like comes towards him, and the werewolf or the hybrid, sees the pointed end, and it doesn't hit the pointy end as you thrust it towards it. Lets it go past, and almost like knocks the shaft to one side. That will mean that he's got that left. And that's 17. Cyrus, you're up on 16. He's got that left. Is Cyrus there?
A little bit mute.
My bad. All right, I'm going to.
It was a really good
cast-
plan, whatever you said, by the way.
I hope so. We'll find out. Who knows?
Awesome.
Might be nothing. I'm gonna cast ignite on my little trail of kerosene and see if maybe I can maybe scare them off a bit.
Yeah, okay then. Roll your folk magic skill. It is folk magic, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it. I'm going to use my luck point to reverse that.
Yeah. Okay then. So does it have a range to it?
It does. I have the same one, but I use mine for lighting candles.
Of course, yeah. What's the range on it?
I have to look up the range.
Right,
So
so,
I have.
That'll be
It should be your
candles,
folk magic.
caravans. It's all the same.
oh, is it just the same as all folk magic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
folk magic,
but
so
spells of
what if
range
you're-
distance up to the characters. Oh no, that's fine because it's folk magic, isn't it? Up to the number of meters equal to your folk magic skill.
Yeah, and it's 59. is
Let
what's-
let me just check. Yeah, spells with range trait can be cast at a distance up to the character's folk magic score in meters. So yeah, which whereabouts are you aiming the spell at?
I before you put this werewolf here, there was like a square which was
I don't
representing like a puddle.
I don't know which one you were pointing at then.
Sorry, let me not that one. Let me see. It was around here.
Yeah, okay, you can set fire to
Yeah, I
the
was
bit
trying to
up
make
on
a
the rock.
trail of essentially of kerosene all the way. So
Well,
maybe hopefully ignite a little
what
bit.
I've done is that there's one over here on top of that rock. Then there's the trail, and then was one up on this rock as well.
Yeah.
So is it this one that you want to set on fire? Then hope that it might set off everything in a blaze of fire.
Yeah. I want
Okay,
to
cool.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so
That's the plan.
you cast it on 15, and it bursts into flames, and
Thank you.
and Brist actually advances. No, he doesn't. Yeah, no, he will do. He'll come over to yours. No, he's not. He's likely to come to this one, isn't he? Because that's sort of like stood up on there, and he sort of like runs over there, and then sweeps it with his staff to try to hit the legs, but this beast just sidesteps it, or he's too quick or too slow. Hengis.
I think this is going to attack the one that's engaged
Yeah.
in combat.
So this one there at the
with
front,
his
yeah.
sword.
Yes. Is that all I saw was the law and tactics roll?
I don't know why it's done that.
Oh.
I don't know why it's rolling around.
Okay, so it's at 51, which actually hits. So he will try to. He misses his parry, which means that you need a special hit location damage.
Special will be he's going to choose location. He's going to go for choose location abdomen.
You keep going mute there, but you're still talking, Longshanks.
Yeah, I'm having problems, and it seems to be rolling other things. But so it was the first one. It
Right,
was 4
yeah,
points of damage.
4 points of damage. Well, that's brilliant. So you hit it in the abdomen, and you slice it across its stomach. And as you do that, you sort of like bring out a bit of fire, and you notice that the stomach, comes back together once you sliced it. And that, with internet starting to fail, but it's also 3 minutes past 10. We're leaving it in the same place as we left it last time, but with slightly more foes at the moment.
Slightly.
Deja bucket.
There's
So-
6 times as many foes.
Yeah,
It's just a little bit.
Just a slight change.
I think it's.
I won't be here next week until they've defeated them all.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, actually, I don't think we have a game next week.
Oh.
Is it the 21st
Yes.
next week? Yeah.
I'll be unavailable.
Yeah.
You guys can just Bartleby will hide in the bushes for a while.
So it's not. It won't be
No,
next week.
don't
It'll
do
be the week after.
It
Yes.
might be a week after that again, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I could be moving on that day.
Oh, that'd be nice. Well, let us know. But there's definitely no miss.
Shanks, you're moving every day.
Oh, God. So yeah, so it might be a couple of weeks before we even get back to this and see what actually comes to the forefront and what happens in this mass hybrid battle with Brist now, which seems to be a strange fellow, if nothing else. So yeah, thank you for coming along and joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we have. And yeah, definitely come back in X amount of weeks. I'll definitely make an announcement and when you can all when we'll be playing it out, and then you'll be able to come back and see what actually happens as we goes along. There's no good typing that. You can't get public opinion, Hasra, and you don't want everybody to say, we'll save you. This is when I should do donations to save people.
I know. I just looked into my sub and it was like, oh.
That's what I should do. So yeah. So if anybody,
Donations.
yeah, send donations to save your favorite character. So that's everybody apart from Bartleby going down. Brilliant. Okay then. So we will catch you all.
Come to receive a special.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody who came along. I hope you enjoyed it. And we could. Bunny Box says, well, you could do a straw poll for the survivor. I think that is perfect. I want to do
God.
that.
Like American Idol or not American Idol. What do you guys have? You have a
Pop Idol.
Yeah, Pop Idol or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or
Or the X
Britain's
Factor.
Got to X Factor. Yeah, no, that would be a really good idea actually. And then whoever gets the least number of votes gets sent home in a
I
box.
have to make
gonna
I have to
die.
make up a very sorry story so everyone's like, "Oh, we really want to help him."
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've come here tonight because my hamster died. And I just feel so sad.
That's it. Lay on nice and thick. Okay, we will see you all not next week for definite, and maybe not the week after, but definitely the week after that, possibly. I will be streaming tomorrow and at 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning, some more Dark Knight sessions on Black Desert Online, and then of course at 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock we'll be in Elder Scrolls Online, enjoying the Explorer event and gathering more resources and trying not to cast my necromancy spells in a town so I get instantly. I'm surprised you didn't get timed out for that actually with that link.
.com, yes.
Yeah. I wonder if you click it where it goes.
Where does it go?
I'm just checking now.
I am too.
The site is
I got an email today that I've got $820,000 in some Abu Dhabi bank.
and I like the way you spelt favourite the American way to appeal to all the Americans.
That's
to get them all onto your side.
Work with
Yeah.
with your chances there.
Okay, we will see you all soon. We'll keep you up to date, and we'll see how good the party really are as they get attacked by the second wave of the nasty hybrids. I hope all the characters are going to go away and try to think of a way that they can actually defend. I just have this vision of Bartleby thinking, "Go on then, hit me." I've got how many points of armor do you have in each location? 10. God, hit me. Yeah, so we'll see you all next time. Until then, please stay safe and look after yourself, and above all, I hope all your post rolls greet you with a well-deserved special. I'll see you all next time. Until then, happy Mythrasing, everybody. Bye. Say goodbye. This video is sponsored by the Design Mechanism, the makers of Mythras. Mythras is a registered trademark of the Design Mechanism Inc., used with permission. All rights reserved.